Hola muchachos, welcome to the video. So today, we're going to be talking about the real reason why gymnasts have such big biceps. So as of the time that I'm making this video, it is the year of the Olympics. And one of my favorite events, hands down, has to be male gymnastics. And this is because these athletes are not only insanely strong, but they also possess incredible looking physiques, especially when it comes to their biceps, with some of them being almost as big as my head. Yet, what I find even more interesting is the fact that unlike bodybuilders that lift weights and use lots of variations of curls to build up their guns, gymnasts, on the other hand, train with mostly their own body weight and are still able to see very impressive results. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing some of their secrets. So first, we really need to address the fact that not all gymnasts are built the same. And from my observations, the ones that have the best bicep development tend to specialize in an event called the still rings, with one of the moves that they do to improve their performance being pulls. So muchachos, it is very well known that pulling exercises are not only great for your back, but also your biceps. And gymnasts tend to use lots of variations of them in their training to improve their performance. And they tend to really focus on things like pull-ups and chin-ups. Now, these two exercises may look very similar, but what separates them is the grip, with the pull-up being done with the palms facing away from the body, and chin-ups done with the palms facing towards the body. And because one of the main functions of our biceps is an action called supination, just by simply switching up our grip, we can greatly increase the amount of bicep activation we see in our pulls. And in this case, chin-ups come out to be the most superior. So I gotta admit, this sounds all fine and dandy, but the truth is, this really isn't groundbreaking stuff, because even bodybuilders use a lot of chin-ups in their routines. But there is definitely one technique that gymnasts use that sets them apart from the rest, and that is the use of isometrics. So an isometric occurs when we contract the muscle and hold it in the same position over time. And gymnasts tend to use a lot of these in their training because the difference between a gold and silver medal all comes down to how effortless they're able to transition from one isometric hold to the next. So muchacho, by now, you're probably thinking that when it comes to using isometrics, that the best way to do them to build up your biceps would be to simply hold yourself up at the top of a chin-up. But I hate to break it to you, that is false. Now this is because, according to research, you will actually notice greater muscle growth when you contract the muscle at longer muscle lengths compared to shorter ones, which is exactly what happens when gymnasts do skills like the iron cross and Maltese. So muchachos, this right here is the real secret behind the big biceps of gymnasts. But I have to warn you, if you attempt to do any of these holds before your muscles and joints are ready, you might end up like one of those bad guys in a Steven Seagal movie. So even though doing straight arm isometrics are exceptional for adding slabs of muscle onto your biceps, they are also extremely dangerous. And this is exactly why gymnasts tend to spend a whole lot of time building up their strength to avoid injury by focusing on the basics like ring support holds with the rings turned out. Also, to get more volume in their training, they tend to sneak in a little bit of straight arm work when they're doing the dynamic pushes, like ring push-ups, and ring dips, especially when they turn the rings out at the top. So by focusing on movements like these, gymnasts are able to not only build up their straight arm strength, but also build up a very good foundation that they can later use into doing even more challenging exercises like the ring Maltese fly. So muchachos, this exercise right here can be a very deceptive one because at first glance, you may think that it is a chest isolation movement, but it is actually killer for your biceps, especially when you do them with straight arms and the rings turned out. Plus, it is also super easy to adjust the intensity, because if you find out that it's too difficult, you can always make it easier by doing it at a higher incline. Or by switching to a more unique variation of a ring push-up called the Archer ring push-up. So muchachos, when you think about it, it actually makes total sense why gymnasts have such impressive biceps. Because even though they don't really train for aesthetics, because of the very unique ways in which they do their pulls, pushes, and isometrics, their biceps are getting trained the entire time, meaning that they have no other choice but to grow. So, if you'd like to learn a lot more about how to not only build bigger arms, but also a well-rounded physique using rings, check out my workout app, which is frequently updated with new workouts and programs. Plus, it's filled with exercise demos, cues, as well as the ability to switch out exercises to match your current fitness level and goals. And the best part about this is that you can test it out for the next 7 days for free using the link in my description box below. So with that, muchachos, make sure to never forget, always strive to improve, even if it's just a little bit, each and every single day. Kaizen. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.